we're going to do is we're going to start off, and you're going to get 1 to 4 minutes to present your tip or your trick. And if a little note, um, in fact, can you go to the next screen? Because I believe we have that information on here. There we go. So if if you submitted something and it had something that looked like a script, it was excluded for today, and so we apologize. We may be doing something in the future where you'll have that chance to do a script. But we wanted to try to keep today's down to non-script stuff. And so once you get going, the clock will start ticking, and we've got Brian, who is our trusty timer, and he will give you a 1 minute warning. And then at 4 minutes, he's going to very rudely cut you off. So do your best to be within that time. And if you have any URLs, please have those ready. Meaning, it's not like, hey, I'm going to be blogging about this, and look for that soon. Hopefully it's something you've already got that you can pass along to us. Greg, did you want to mention anything before we get started?
Nope. All
All
good.
right. Cool. Well, welcome again. If you're here, oh, that's awesome right there. I like that. So, all right, I've got. All right. Well, why don't we just get kicked off? Oh, actually, I want to mention now before people start dropping after my tip. If you can stick around after the tips and tricks session, and turn on your camera and grab something to drink and chill, we're gonna hang out and just chat, and it's gonna be a fun time. So we really looking forward to seeing you guys. That's probably my favorite part. So hopefully you guys can stick around for that. All right, so let's get started. It looks like I'm up first, and I did not rig that, guys. So. That's just the way that the cookie crumbled, I guess. So, Greg, can you make me a presenter? And I'm doing this
Should
for
be
you,
good.
Ryan. Okay. Sorry. My daughter just came out to see us. All right. So, all right, I am presenting, and this is for you, Ryan. Since you can't do anything with PowerShell today, I'm going to do something, and it's not a script, but rather just something. I know that Andrea or Julie Andrea Cola is on the phone, and she does not like PowerShell ISE, but I am one of those weirdos that still uses it from time to time. And so one of the things, though, that I'm gonna show you here is if you've been messing around with it and you're playing with it, you might have some stuff in here, and you want you've got something running in the back, running, and it's taking a long time. One of the things that is really that I've found kind of helpful from time to
Can I
time is
interrupt real
yeah.
quick to fix a rookie mistake here? You don't might. Hey, can you zoom it for the love of God? Like
Oh,
click
for
that little
love,
scroller on the
Peter.
bottom. You don't need zoom it to load it up. Just
Yeah.
use the little
Yeah. Okay.
scroller down there
Yeah.
because we're already
Hang on.
getting comments.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I actually did make a rookie mistake there, and I apologize. So this is the good thing, is that even someone as lame as myself can make big mistakes. So no one else has anything to worry about. All right. So here you are. Can you guys see that a lot better?
Wonderful.
All right, great. Sorry. So let's say you're playing around in here, and you've got a bunch of things. I didn't want to like go through it. Let's say I've got some stuff running. I didn't really want to load anything up. I literally just thought of this 1 second before because Ryan couldn't do anything with PowerShell. And one thing though that I find when I do this is I will have a bunch of parameters or variables that are in this session, and I wanna test fresh. And so what you can do is if you hit Control T, you get a whole new PowerShell thing. And if I do blah, it's not there, right? Even though we just created it over here. So these are two separate PowerShell instances within ISE, so that I can, if I've got stuff going on over here, I have run into the issue where I've got variables saved and there's all kinds of stuff going on, and so even like the types of the variables get you'll write over them, and so what you can do is just create a new little PowerShell instance or window, and if you don't remember Control T, it is up here somewhere. Where is it? File, New PowerShell tab. In File in there, and you click on that, and you can get as many as you want and just kind of play around with that. All right, so that's the end of my tip for PowerShell ISE. The next person we've got on deck is Sean, and then Ben W is going to, Ben Whitmore. So Ben Whitmore, get your stuff ready, and Sean, are you ready to take over?
He's
Sean
muted.
who?
You're muted,
Sean
Sean.
Casules.
We see you waving, but you're muted.
Double mute headset.
There
Here we go. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Apparently. Let's get going. All right. So we're talking about classic things, fun things, old things. And the one I'm going to bring up today is the ye olde Task Manager. There's a few things that people don't know about it. And I wanted to quickly go through some tips there because they tend to occur quite frequently. Task Manager, as you all know, you can go to the right start, et cetera, et cetera.
You're going to present, right? So
That would be a
Sure.
good idea. Hang on.
Hey,
See,
everybody's
this is what
getting rusty since we haven't had MMS in a while.
that is so true. Can you see me now?
Yes.
There we go.
Thank y'all.
All right, so Task Manager, I went to the Start menu down here. I went to Start menu there. There's a lot of different ways to get there. We'll cover them in a second. One of the most important ones that people don't seem to know about is you can add extra fields and commands. So just by adding command line, you can see there's all kinds of fun information you can grab very quickly. One of them you might notice is a /4 after Task Manager. Depending on where you open it from, and this is good for debugging, you can actually find out via the command line what's up. Now, the program itself, another good one to look at, is you can actually open up the file location. So instead of running around and trying to figure out where the actual files are for processes in Task Manager, this is a good one. And this is something you've all seen before, CMD, open a command prompt. And here's a fun one. I can close Task Manager and reopen it up, but this time it'll open up to the startup window. So there are command line switches for Task Manager as well. Another one that a lot of people seem to forget or not pay attention to as frequently is you'll notice this as, here, let's make this go by CPU. As this is going right now, everything is updating and having a great time. When do we most frequently open Task Manager? When all hell is breaking loose. Have you ever been in Task Manager where the bars disappear, but things still seem to update, or the command line is locked, or perhaps the start bar has gone away? There's a couple of reasons for that. But the first one for a nice tip is if you hold down Control-Shift-Alt, you'll notice as I'm holding it on my keyboard, all the updates have paused. And the reason is it's actually doing a memory core crash of Task Manager and resetting it. It's an instant reset of the Task Manager. So if you're running into a locked GUI for other reasons, that's a great way to get this to start working again, because it tends to happen where something is cascade failing and you can't get rid of it. So by doing that, you can actually fix the problem. Another one that's really good for this, and I'm sure some of you have seen it, especially when the GUI 32 dies or the shell 32 DLL dies, which are both bad things, you can still go up to File and run New Task and potentially do calc or whatever you need to run. The point of that being is when all interfaces have crapped out and you can't get anything else done, you can still work with Task Manager. Now that's a couple of quick ones that are really fun, really easy. Let me refer to my notes because I'm not as awesome as you guys. We're out of practice, as it were. Another one that comes up really frequently is where else can you start this from? I guess the best one and my personal favorite is Control-Shift-Escape. So if your keyboard is locked up, your inputs have locked up, you've created the most amazing PowerShell script that locked everybody up, you can still open it up, and that's Task Manager /2. These things together are neat. Where it becomes really interesting is all of this still works in PE. And that is a very quick tip and trick. Sorry for the delay at the beginning.
That was awesome.
Good
Oh,
job,
good.
man. Thanks. No, it's like I said, I made some pretty rookie mistakes there in the beginning. It's been a long time since we've been together and doing stuff, so that was great. All right, Ben Whitmore, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm here. Let's go.
All right, great. And Rudy, you're up next after Ben?
I was born ready.
Let's go. Well, hello from the UK. I want to share with you guys today three tips. So for a recent customer of ours, we've had to move some workloads from Config Manager to Intune really quickly. So we didn't have the time to plan it. We sent a whole bunch of laptops out with the workloads already moved across to Intune, And these three things I'm going to cover in this session may catch you out. So maybe look out for it when you're planning to move workloads to Intune 2. Okay, the first one is when we move the Windows Update workload, the client had a legacy group policy setting that was disabling automatic updates. So you can see on the screenshot here, the workload has already moved across to Intune for Windows updates. The client had deployed an Intune update ring, but the updates weren't applying. And you can see in the green box there, it says your organization has turned off automatic updates. Now, that was a setting that was applied by the config manager admin years ago to disable updates for many reasons. The registry key that you need to look for if you're coming across this is on the screen. You need to make sure that the no auto update key is set to 0. Because in this scenario, the client's already gone out and they're internet connected. They didn't have a VPN back, so we couldn't apply WMI filter to our group policy to exclude them from that setting. So we used proactive remediations in Intune to set that registry key to 0, and the updates started to flow through really nicely. That's blogged in detail on my website, and the link is at the bottom there. Tip number 2, with the Windows Update workload again, the Edge was not updating either, so this is all good fun stuff. Updates were disabled. So when you move the Windows Update workload across to Intune, that also stops Edge receiving updates from Config Manager. When you deploy Edge from Config Manager, the PowerShell script sets a value of 0 to automatic updates because it assumes that the update's going to be coming from Config Man. You can toggle that setting in Config Man 2002 to enable automatic updates on the CDN, and that option is there. This is the registry key you need to look for to enable automatic updates on Edge. You just need to.
Hey, can I interrupt?
Yep.
I only bring it up because this just came up today. That registry key just bit us, and there's now 4. There's a new one in there today. The other ones show it like install for us, and then we have an update. So there's actually a 5th brand new one today that breaks you. So if anybody finds that they're not updating their Edge today, look at this exact key that you've got pointed out.
The config manager install script does that natively for you to create that key. You might want to check that. At least it did initially.
I watched for it because we haven't touched our installs. We've just been patching, and out of the blue, we realized people aren't patching. We found this brand new key in there. I think a patch put it on.
That's cool. I'll certainly go back and look at this. I mean, I blogged this maybe 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago.
Right. We only found this today,
change.
so.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for the heads up. I'll look for that defo. So cool. So that's definitely one to look out for. And then the third tip is when we're moving workloads, we move the Office Click to Run Apps workload as well. Originally, the customer deployed Office, and in the config XML, he'd set the Office Management COM to equal true. Now that means that config man will manage the updates for Office, and it sets the registry key there below that you can see. And we need to make sure that we change that management COM registry key to 0. And we use proactive remediations in this case because the client didn't have sight using VPN to the config manager environment. So you just need to make sure the client is out of scope for the client setting that enables the Office Management COM object. You can apply a group policy object to set that to 0, and then the Office Click to Run service just needs a restart, and you're good to go. The updates start flowing. So I ran through that really quick. All of those 3 tips are blogged in detail on my website at byben.com, and the proactive remediation scripts are also on my GitHub if you want to go and have a look at those too. Sorry for talking so fast. There's a lot to fit into 4 minutes. Hope that's okay, guys.
That was awesome.
Good stuff.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can share these with me, Ben, right? So I can share it out.
Yeah.
And a link to your blog. Yeah. Thanks.
Of course. Man. Yeah. Sure. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, and that's actually a good point, Greg. One of the things that we're going to do is we're gonna aren't we gonna compile these as well, like we did last time? Everyone send that information over. So
right, I'll send a nag out to everybody and ask them to send me a slide or something, right? And then we'll send it out to all registered attendees.
Great. Thanks. Great. So yeah, look for that, guys. We'll send that out, and you guys can send in that information so we have that compiled. All right, Rudy, you're next, and Samuel A., you are on deck.
All right. So my tip that I am going to be talking about today is using CM Pivot. If you've seen any of my blogs, probably the last 5 blogs I've done have been on CM Pivot. Quick PSA for it right here. Anything you need to know about CM Pivot is on this home tab right here. So if you haven't checked it out, check it out. I'm going to skip right-clicking on the device collection and hitting Run CM Pivot and just go straight to this. So my tip today is related around how to find out if services are running real-time on a collection of devices. I have a query that I did just to see, hey, does this machine have SQL? So what you're going to type in is just type in service, your bar there, where. One key thing for you if you're using CM Pivot, do not capitalize the where. If you capitalize the W in where, you'll get a failed to parse query. So make sure that you're really careful on your syntax and caps. You're in this query on this machine, you shouldn't actually find any services that contain the name SQL. But I just wanted to run it really quick. So query completed, didn't find SQL. I don't have any SQL services on any of the machines in this collection. If I wanted to look at services that are running, I can add in a little bit more context. So I say where state is not equal to running, and where start mode is very much equal to auto. And so this would find any SQL services that are not running that should be running. Again, this isn't going to find anything because I don't have SQL in this box. I originally kind of came up with this query for using it on servers after I'd done updates to see, hey, this server should have SQL, or these servers should have SQL, let's make sure it's starting back up on all of them. So if I want to take a name filter off of something, real easy, I just take that highlighted section out there. And now this query right here that I have can be useful on pretty much any machine if you're trying to troubleshoot something. This will pull up any service where the state is not equal to running, but where the start mode for that service is automatic. So right here, I'm going to run this query, and this query right here should return probably 5 or 6 random services, and I only have 1 computer in this collection just for the purpose of the demo. Got to do our little demo god dance here to make sure that it actually runs.
You should have done that beforehand.
Yep. Oh, we did a lot of sacrifices before this, believe me. So right here, I can see any service that I have that is currently stopped, but the start mode is set to automatic. All these are ones that I would expect to actually be stopped, even though their start mode is automatic. So, best scenario for this, you're doing, server updates on Tuesday night. Tuesday night, after everything's done, you just want to see if there's stuff that's not running on, pick maybe your SQL service like I showed in that first query. Run this query, it shows you everything. I know I can't do scripts in this, so I won't do scripts, but keep in mind that if you did have a script loaded in SCCM under your scripts menu, you can click on a device in here, you could do run script, you could do remote control on that device if you wanted to remote to it and remediate it. Manually, you could do Resource Explorer to see anything else going on in that box. Shameless plug here, if you go to my blog, get-itguy.com, the last blog that I did actually has the full-on how to check if that service is running, and then there's also a script that you could get for how to start that service back up. I built it with a parameter in the script, so you could type in the name of an exact service that you saw in your CM Pivot query, and it'll run that script against any computer in that collection or any computer that you highlight in your CM Pivot results. So say you had multiple computers here. I'm done. 4 minutes.
Woohoo!
Thank you.
That's good, though. Thank you.
All right. Good job. Thank you. Okay, Samuel.
Yep.
You are next, and Damien, you are on deck.
Yep. I'm ready. Can you see my deck?
Yes.
Yep.
It's sharing. Okay. I will share some quick tips about what you can do with your CMG. Like every other company, we had some challenges when the pandemic started, and we got issues. Everybody grabbed their computers, went home, and we didn't know really how to manage them and how to patch them and stuff. But lucky for us, we had our CMG already in place. So when the VPN couldn't support everyone, we could use that to remediate and do stuff with our clients. And yep, it's not moving. So yes, everybody started to use CMG, or should be, they said. So we did, and this is a few of the things we did and can do with the CMG. Dive right into the next. First of all, we wanted to make sure our computers at home were patched, preferably from Microsoft. So we changed the setting for all the clients to a patch from Microsoft, and it seems to be working. Then we got an issue for the people running VPN. We have a link shortcut to run login script when they're on the VPN. If they need to map some network drives, and that started working, was broken all of a sudden because we made some changes to our AD recently, and we need to fix that. So how did we reach out to every other machine that wasn't on VPN? So we used a configuration item for that to reach everyone, change the shortcut, remediate them, and it worked. We have some other CIs we are running, like local admins and a lot of stuff, and it works just fine, so we can manage our clients. And by then, everyone is running Teams, of course, and it has got a lot of new features. One of them was obviously the custom backgrounds you can use, and the management thought that was a good idea. Hey, everybody needs custom backgrounds, but how do we deploy that to all users at home? So we made a package and just used Robocopy to push it out to all users. Download the content, run it for the user, and for every user who logs on. And it worked, and management was happy. CM pivot, as we already talked about, run through CMG. I think it's underestimated. Need to start using it more and more. And now we are trying to update our machines. We was in the middle of upgrading to 1909 when everybody went home, so it's halfway done. Now we think, okay, we can do it to CMG. We are using OneWin's TS launch to present it to the users. I download all the stuff in advance, and remember to set this, allow the task sequence to run for the clients on the internet, and hopefully it will be done soon. Before it's 2009, we should be deploying to them. The good thing about CMG, as we all know, it costs pennies. I guess everybody know who this guy is. Yep, I'm done.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Thanks,
Oh,
Samuel. Thanks a lot for that. Okay, so up next is Damien, and we've got Keith E. or Hoop Junkie 88. You are on deck. Damien, are you ready to rock?
Might be muted.
Yeah. So I'll just do the words for him.
Yeah.
So you see here, this is the
There we
MIM
go.
console. Oh, okay, good.
Might help if I click on the right thing. Yes, I'm still trying to break my coworkers of calling it SCCM. So this particular trick, this is a new thing in CM 2002 and higher. And unfortunately, you have to actually search for the device under the devices node. If you do the wonderful search user get primary device, this doesn't show up. So if we can all dogpile them about that. But this wonderful thing here under client diagnostics, collect client logs. This uses the fast channel So we're talking a minute or two. Basically, what it's going to do is tell the client, hey, grab the contents of your CCM logs folder, zip it up, and send it to the management point. So then you, as the admin, can come here to Resource Explorer, and under Diagnostic Files, you'll see the bundle that was collected that you can then say open in Support Center, and have quick, easy access to all the logs pulled off that machine instead of trying to do CM Trace or Support Center over a laggy connection. So once you've got your logs, you can just select the ones you need, tell it to open the bundle, and you can dig through the logs for whatever you need to find. This came in especially handy for us relatively recently when we had a third party who was shipping our imaging and shipping machines for us. And we then find out, hey, when they ran this image this machine, did they actually say, like we told them to install X, Y, and Z app? Well, we pulled this against the remote machine, ZTI coalesce, and nope, app wasn't there. So it wasn't it was a human failure, not a process one. But this diagnostic files, being able to pull that from any machine that is still talking to your management point has been a huge time saver. That's all there she wrote.
That's awesome. Thanks a lot. Appreciate that.
A good one. There's also a site maintenance task, I believe, now that'll clean all those things off too, so you don't have to worry about them building up on your MPs.
Oh, to clean off the old files?
Right, yeah. Especially, what if you accidentally, I don't know, get thousands and run out of space? At least, you know, something in the background's cleaning them up.
Right.
Nice.
So real quick before we go on to, I actually lost, we're on Keith now, right?
Keith, yep.
Right.
All right, so before you start, Keith, Paul W. or Paul Wetter, you are on deck. And then I did see a few hands still raised in there, and I don't, again, before I had issues seeing all the same hands that were raised. Are there people that have some questions or comments or something that they wanted to ask real quick, or I'm just trying to figure out why those hands are raised? All right, no one is saying anything, so let's move on. Okay, all right, Keith, you ready?
Yep, I'm here.
All right,
Let
cool.
me know you can
Thanks.
hear me. Cool.
Yeah, we can.
Perfect. Basically, my tip is an old one, but a good one. Hopefully, it's new to some, and probably will be old for others. Everyone should be familiar with the old BG info. That actually allows you to put computer name or information on your screen. This is just a scaled down, poor man's version of that, where you can just put a computer name on the taskbar, simply using the old toolbar. So showing my screen right now, you basically just right click on the toolbar, on the task menu, create a new toolbar. And within the folder, UNC path to % computer name, %, hit enter. And voila, your computer name is now on your task manager, your taskbar. And that can be done any other way you want it to. Haven't found a script for it to do it yet. Still working, or a registry key. It creates it in some type of binary or something, but that's it. That's my tip.
That's pretty handy, yeah. I'd put that on every server. Yeah.
I like that. Thank you.
No problem.
All right. All right, Paul, you are up next, and Sridhar, you are on deck, and I don't know if you've got a Twitter handle. In the document that I have here, I don't show one, but
You have just pasted on the chat.
okay, thanks. All right, you're on deck. Paul, you're up.
All right. Can you see my screen? Yes, no, maybe.
Loading. There we go.
There you go.
All right, so I'm just going to do a couple quick tips here in CM Console/SQL. First thing I'm going to do in SQL is with views, and something I learned quite a while ago, but it's a neat little feature. If you're looking for a specific view to, create a report or start a report, you're not sure what exactly it's going to be in. So say I'm looking for something related to video. I want to see video cards. You can click on the views here, hit the little filter button here and go to filter settings. And right in the contains field, just type video. And it's going to filter down to the views that are specifically related to your video controller. So then you can just do there and go and select and get all your different views or get all your data from that view. Related to views, one thing I had learned actually not too long ago, but it was like kind of one of those moments for me, was when you look at your devices here in the console, I'm pointing at the screen like people can see me pointing, but when you're looking at the devices in the console here, you've got, all these millions of columns here. Well, maybe not millions, but like 100.
Give or take.
And you want to see all that info, and you'd love to get a chunk of that into a report. Well, there's actually a view in SQL that covers that data, and I can never remember its name, which brings me back to filters. I just know that the view is called combined something, or maybe it's just combined. I don't remember. Yep, there it is. DBO v_ combined device resources. So I'll select, this is my lab, so it's only about 5 resources, but get the idea as it runs here. And you'll see all the columns there in the view. And go across and you get all that data, which includes like the current logged in user and all that kind of stuff. So
no joins required, huh? Just run that thing.
And no joins required, which is beautiful. So you can filter down to the columns you want, and boom, you can probably spill out some pretty simple straight up reports and make people go, wow.
I like it.
That's all I got for today.
I think that one is absolutely awesome. And I got to ask, Sherry, do you know about that view? Have you ever seen that? Because you know all these. Have you ever seen that?
I've used that in some reports here. It's already there. But we've got that other special snowflake.
Right. But for all the other people who didn't make our special view, I didn't realize that this much was already in there. That's kind of cool.
I think the combined resources is the one that the console uses natively too, for all your device views.
Nice.
That's awesome. Nice. I always love to see the SQL one, so nicely done. All right. Sridhar, you are up, and Jim O'Neill, you are on deck.
Hey, yes, thank you. Hello from India. Just share my screen and let me know if you guys can see it already. Yeah,
I see it.
Yeah, we can see that.
Cool. So I'm going to talk about a nifty utility called Blue Screen View. Working with Windows, there are chances that we face blue screen issues at times, and finding out what's actually causing it, we have to actually catch the blue screen happening in real time, or later check the logs. But if we have this utility, we just need to run it. If you have admin, it'll just pop it out, the dump file, and all the drivers that were loaded at the time the system was running will show up in the lower pane, and the crashes will show up in the upper pane. If you select the dump file, the drivers that were in the crash stack will show up as highlighted. And you can see the two system files. One is a driver, and the other one is an executable that were involved in the crash stack. Okay, and you can directly see it here. There's this cool feature in this one that is you can right click and then just do Google search bug check plus driver. So it's gonna do a search for you for the driver, and you can just find out what it is. and it's from Install Shield Pro software, so you can find out if there's a latest version and you can fix it yourself. Okay. What this has some extra features is so you can see lower pain mode. It shows all drivers, but you can also select only drivers found in the crash stack. So it just shows those two. If you are a fan of legacy format of the blue screen, it also shows you that, but obviously that's kind of too old. I'm going to talk about this later, dump check output, but there's raw data too if you want to see all the CPU registers and the hex stack, memory hex stack. So that's there. Yeah, I was going to say about dump check output. So dump check XC was a tool that was given in Windows 7 SDK kit, and that's not available anymore for Windows 10. So this is not available. And yeah, some other cool stuff it has is we work in global time. So at times we are going to troubleshoot a system that's not in our time zone, but you can still see it in a central time zone. So you can just see that it's just changed it to GMT. So that's a cool trick it does. And then we have advanced options where you can actually, so this is from the machines minidump folder, but you can also just quickly actually drag and drop. So this also works. Okay. So this is here. What we can also do is, sorry, where did it go? Yeah. We can also go into advanced options and we can load from other computers. So you just need to do, I have a demo machine and then put $. It'll just load it up. Okay, network latency. Oh shit, not responding. That's due to probably network. Yeah. So, oh, probably the system doesn't have a bug check. So that's there. Let me change it to something else.
Now, is this something that you stumbled across, or is this something that you built?
No, I stumbled across it. I've been using it kind of for decades, so that's there. So yeah, it just loaded it up. You can also actually load multiple computers, just put multiple computers in there and it will load all of them and all the errors that you have. You might say that where's the computer name? So you can just scroll this side and it's here. You can drag it to the top, or you can also right click here and then choose the columns and then move them up. So
that's 4 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
That's
cool.
pretty slick.
That is slick.
Hey, Benjamin, one thing before you go to the
Mhm.
next one, I'll share out just for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, very helpful. Let me share.
Yeah, and pretty cool that you're joining at what, like 2:15 or something in the morning or something like that. That's that's dedication right there.
On night mode.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
great. Yeah, thanks. So, hey, I just wanted to point out too, guys, while we're going through these, we got our Twitter hashtag up here, MMSMOA, and you see our Twitter handles here for those that are presenting tricksters. Feel free to give them a shout out there, and we'll post this again a little bit later. But give these guys some props, and also you guys feel free to post your links here as well, and we'll help drive some traffic to your Twitter feed. Okay, back to your regularly scheduled presentation.
Nice. All right. Thanks a lot. Jim O'Neill and Luke B. or Leroy Jenkins 608. You are on deck.
Hey everybody, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good.
We can hear you. I know that was the mic check.
Yep. Now if I can find the tab that I need to share. Here we go. All right. So recently I was asked to configure a couple new laptops, Surface Pro or Surface Laptop 3 and HP 840 G7, and they kept falling asleep during imaging. So I would either need to sit there and tap the space bar, or the techs would have to do that. Otherwise they would fail, and we don't want that. I checked the high performance option, the task sequence preferences, and it wasn't working. They were still falling asleep after the reboot. So what I did was added some power config commands after the reboot to stop it from standby, stop it from monitor timeout, and stop it from hibernating. So just basically add a step after the restart, and then add those commands in there, and my problem's gone. So that's basically it. I did send feedback to the CM team to let them know that high performance wasn't working properly in the test sequence. So we'll see if I hear back from them. But that's my tip.
I have a quick question. What version of Windows?
1909.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you. That was nice and quick. Love it. Okay, Luke B, you are up now, and Julie, you are next. And I probably slaughtered the pronunciation of your name earlier, and I apologize for that. But
no, you got it right.
Oh, nice. All right. Sorry about that, Luke or Leroy.
No, Luke, it's fine.
All right. Should we all start? Are you going to start off with Leroy Jenkins?
Well, you got to build it up, and then you build everyone up, right?
All right. Maybe you can stick on afterwards for the chatting portion and teach us how to do it right.
Just as long as someone goes, "Damn it, Leroy," that's all I need.
Okay. All right, we can take care of that.
This will be a super quick one, right? So
over 4 minutes, you'll hear, "Damn it, Leroy." Go on.
That's your cue. I was trying to think of something super simple that many of us know a lot of these tricks, but probably don't know them all. And there's one of them that just like, I can remember the time before I knew this trick and the time after. So hopefully this light bulb moment works for some of you. And it's not really SCCM related. So we're going to bounce around a lot of apps that you probably all use. And it's all around keyboard shortcuts. Okay. And the ubiquitous Control-Enter shortcut. So one of the things I often would do in Microsoft Word, like you're working on a page, and if you wanted to get to another page, you're sitting here clicking enter, right? Until you get to another page, and then God forbid you have any formatting issues after that. A quick way to get around that, Control-Enter, jumps right to the next page. So like if you were ever in here and you wanted to paste like a picture, for example, Control-Enter, jumps to the next page, you're good. What can Control-Enter do in Excel? So oftentimes, what I would normally do is if I was making like a VLOOKUP or some type of formula, I would do it in one cell, right? And then I would drag it between the rest of the cells I wanted to do it with. And of course, demo guys don't like me here. And I would sit here and I'm sure you guys all know this, right? You can do one of these deals here. But if you have a very large area, just highlight it. Control-Enter, fills in it all for you. Nice little shortcut. In Outlook, for those that are Outlook folks, Control-Enter sends an email. Super simple. This next one, though, this is the one that I really wanted to show everyone to make sure they knew about. So a lot of the times when before like we had search in like the address bar, you would try and type someone's site, and it maybe would autocomplete depending if it's been indexed or not. Control-Enter. If it's .com, will resolve. When I first learned this, I was like, you got to be kidding me. That's so simple. And then you find yourself using it every single day. So if you wanted to go to any of our other blogger site, Control-Enter automatically goes there. You don't have to go to a search page or anything like that. And it works in all browsers, but it only works for .coms. So keep that in mind. And the last one here, this is another control shortcut, but not Control-Enter. This time it's Control-Space. One of the things I often find myself doing is in PowerShell, when you're trying to find out what parameter you're looking for, you'll typically just do like this, right? I don't know how many of you guys do this and find the right one. Just do Control-Space, and it'll show you all the ones out there, and you can actually go through and just hit enter and find whatever you need. That Control-Space is going to save you a lot of time. That's all I got.
That was fantastic.
Those are
Love
awesome.
it.
Amazing.
I did not know about the .com control enter. That's pretty dope. I like that. All right, Julie, you are up.
Okay. All right, mine is super short and simple, and it has to do with the clipboard. In fact, Sean actually previewed it, but didn't mention what he was doing. So if you are copying things, looking at logs, all that sort of thing, and you have to go back and copy something again, don't do that. Hit the Window and 7 key, or excuse me, the Window V key, and your history of everything you've pasted will be here for that session. So you never have to go back and recut something, and it'll even do images. And that's it. It saves me a ton of work when you're going through logs and such. And then bonus tip, if you're looking at this log viewer that I have here, this is OneTrace, which is in your tools folder of your site system. It's the newer version, shall we say, of CMTrace. So check that out too. That's it.
Nice. Thanks, Julie. So that was Windows V, correct?
Windows V. Mm-hmm.
All right. Nice.
And Julie, you put another great one in chat as well. What was it for zooming in a Teams?
It's probably even better is to if you want to, if those who didn't see it in the chat, you just click on the screen that the presenter's presenting on, hold down the control button, and then use your scroll window to zoom in and out. So if a presenter isn't, you can't see what they've got on their screen, you can zoom in yourself and you don't even have to ask them.
Yeah,
so Brian didn't have to interrupt me and be a jerk.
Oh, we'll still
interrupt.
That is handy though, control scroll.
And one thing I want to mention about the Window V shortcut is that will put everything in plain text, including passwords. So if you find it disabled in your organization, that's probably why. Also, Cloud Clipboard is also not generally accepted in many enterprises. So keep that in mind.
Hot tip.
All right. Well, thank you. And that looks like that's everyone.
I've added a few to the queue, Benjamin. So
did you?
I think
I
think we'll probably go till 10 after. If Brian, that's what we did last time, and then we'll do our drawing. So
we got room for everybody who submitted for sure. So let's get those last 4 on deck.
All right. So let me shout out the last 4, and you guys let me know if you don't want to do it. But here's the order I've got. I've got Sherry, Adam, Donna, and Ryan. Donna and Ryan being 2 different people. Okay,
I'm in.
Good. Sherry. Oh, you, Sherry, go ahead.
All right, so mine is a super quick one. In CM, people forget, I think, that there's more than just going to root SimV2.
Are you going to
share? Am I not sharing?
No.
There we go.
Not with us, anyway.
All right. Do you see it now?
Yeah.
All right. So in client settings, hardware inventory, you can set classes, and you can import, you can add. And if you go to, I can type this in. Instead of root SimV2, you can go to other classes. It's going to connect. Did when I did the demo to myself a few minutes ago. Come on. Sure, now it doesn't connect. Well, anyway, that's the tip. And then what you end up with is you can get your additional classes in inventory that might not be in root SimV2.
So that's for
That's
that's let me make sure I understood. That's for if you're adding any kind of classes, custom classes into or via the MOF editor, you can go to any namespace and get whatever you want. Is that correct?
Yep, if it's there, you can inventory it. It doesn't
Right.
have to be in rootsim v2.
Cool. Thank you, Sherry.
All right, Adam.
Okay, here we go. Let me. Oh, I need to be a presenter. Sorry, I'm not a presenter. I don't believe.
Oh yeah, forgot about you guys. All right, let me find you.
Holy beards.
Let's take 2 minutes just talk about his beard while I go find him.
Yeah. So
My
you,
wife is tired of-
I can fill this in a little bit while you're trying to do that. You're giving it to Adam, and
Yeah.
then does Donna, and then you said Donna Ryan, but did you
Yeah,
mean
Donna and Ryan?
And Ryan? Okay.
Yes. Yeah. All right, there's Adam. All right, just making you presenter now.
Okay. Share my screen. All right. We good?
Looks good.
All right. So so number one, so I'm going to show you kind of combo here. So CM Pivot kind of already covered that. Rudy already covered it. But now you can do CM Pivot on a per device basis. So you don't have to do an individual, or you don't have to make a collection to CM Pivot against. You can also do CM Pivot standalone. But I'm kind of combining all of the things here to get to the community hub is where I'm headed. So if you've ever run CM Pivot and you've already run it one time, you'll find that it won't rerun the query because, well, I've already done it, so it doesn't like that. So if you hold down Shift and click Run Query again, it'll actually trigger a rerun on that client for you. So that one's I think Brett Flegg wrote CM Pivot, or a majority of it, and he gave me that tip not too long ago. But then you can also pop out this sidebar and you can save your query. So this would be like, get edge update policy. And then I think I got an extra space. No. Okay. So we'll hit add. Once you've saved it there, you can jump over to community. Now you have to do this on a workstation. It doesn't work on server. And that's kind of the big beef everybody has right now is, well, we can't run it on our server environment. And you can't run it as admin either to get here. You can't be running your console with an admin token. You can run it with a user who is an admin, but not with an admin token. So see, somebody's already got a script to turn on and off Edge auto update. So you could click on this script. This is a Microsoft provided one, and you can download this script and add it to your environment, and then it will keep this in sync with the devices that are in your environment versus what you got from the hub, and then keep those guys together. For some reason I'm not seeing the sign in. There it is. Okay, so then I can go over here and I can sign in. It's a little quirky, so sometimes it doesn't keep your sign-in credentials, so it didn't keep mine. Stand by 1 second. Doggone it, I was ready. Pause the clock.
There's no pausing.
Oh no,
all right,
clock's going.
I'll hurry.
Type faster.
All right, it's worth it noting. Jordan Benzing wrote a blog on how to get started using it. But so now you actually can do your own contributions. So if you go into your hub, so sometimes you'll hit sign in and then it'll still say sign in, so you have to do it again. So in here you can see all of the contributions that I've already made. So you can just go in here and click add item. So I can tell it I want to get a CM pivot query or a configuration item report, etc. Currently it only accepts SSRS reports, but Power BI is coming. And so that now I can get one of my saved CM pivot queries. So then query gets, just get edge update policy. Pretty straightforward. And so now what it's doing is it's using my GitHub credentials and it's publishing this to the GitHub repository. And I can control click on that, and it will take me to GitHub where I can see my entry And depending on the type of entry it is, you may see, like, so this one you can actually see the query. In other cases, because like for CIs and things, you might not see all of the bits and pieces that go with it. But what will happen is the config manager team will come to the hub, and you can just go look through the hub, and you can edit this and manage this just like any other pull request that you would do. And so in here you can see where where they've gone through and approved, and once they approve, we can submit that. So once it's approved, it shows up in your list. Done.
Cool. Thanks. Thanks, Adam. All right, Donna, are you ready? And Ryan, you're on deck.
I am ready.
Trying to figure out how to unshare, sorry.
All right.
Sometimes you share too much, Adam.
All right. So this tip, or it's more of a trick, is for the impatient config manager admin or hurried consultant. I tend to fall into both categories. When I'm doing like an implementation, trying to get WSUS stood up, you'll run into statements like waiting for X amount of minutes for a cycle or a service to re-trigger. You don't have to wait. There's actually a tool buried deep in the bowels of Config Manager that goes back decades that I use all the time. It's the Configuration Manager Service Manager, which actually I found I did a user voice thing at MMS, and there was some of the CM team didn't know this actually existed. That's how old it is. So if you go over to monitoring, system status, component status, you can go up to start and then the Configuration Manager Service Manager. I'm going to launch that, and it will show you every internal service to Configuration Manager. Now, as an example, I've pulled up WCM, it's the WSUS Configuration Manager, and we can see that it's waiting 34 minutes to do its thing. Well, I don't have time for that, so I can go to WSUS Configuration Manager. You have to hit query, and it'll check the status of said service. And this will take a minute for it to come back, but it should show as running. Well, I can stop it. And it's going to take a moment here to chug. And you can requery it to see if it's still actually running, because it doesn't auto-update. See, now it's stopped. And I can go ahead and hit start. And if I come back into here, I can see that WCM restarted and did what I wanted it to, as opposed to having to wait the advertised 34 minutes. I'll also use this too with DMP Downloader when there's a new update, because that kind of goes out and checks periodically. You can go in and kick DMP Downloader. I've got some colorful names for this term, kicking it in the butt. But you can bounce that, and it'll go out and start from scratch and pull down new content. You do want to be careful with some of these. So like maybe like SMS Executive, you may not want to run that on. Sometimes if you have a service that's not working great and you stop it, it just doesn't come back up. But for stuff that does play well, it's really nice that you don't have to wait, the next 60 minutes for that next cycle to trigger.
So what's nice about that is it's kind of a forgotten tool that I kind of remembered, because for those of you who have an active and a passive server and you don't know which one to connect to, and you're doing it the old-fashioned, regedit way to stop and start threads, this one always finds the active machine to hit. I've kind of gotten used to using this one again.
Yeah, it's a great tool. Not a lot of people tend to not use. I mean, you really don't need it on a day-to-day, but if you're building config manager environments and TikTok, you can shave some time off your build by kicking these services in the butt and getting them to do what you want to when you want to.
That's pretty awesome.
Agree.
Yeah, I don't think I actually knew about that, so that's fantastic. All right, it looks like we've added a few people to the queue. So Ryan, you're up, but Andrew and then John, you're on decks, the two decks. We've added one. Okay.
Toledo.
All right, I'm sharing my screen.
See it.
You are.
I've got a notepad tip. Since I can't do PowerShell, One of the cool things with Notepad that you can do is I have this fun.txt file, and if you open it up, you see there's nothing in it. If I put .log at the top, save that. Next time I open it, it'll put in the timestamp for you. And then you can just save it, and every time you open it, it'll append the timestamp for you. So you can just keep seeing your timestamps. It'll just keep going like that. It's been in Notepad for a very long time, but most people don't know about it.
Most people
Does
just
Molly
click on
know about
the clock in the lower right-hand corner of the tray, but I mean, whatever.
Somebody spent their time programming that.
Yeah. All right. I'll keep my comment. All right. Is that it?
Yeah.
That's
Hey,
awesome.
I use that.
All right.
That's a great tip.
I think it's cool.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, do you have a good use case?
For logs.
Yeah.
Okay.
.log.
All right. Cool. Awesome. Andrew, you're up.
All right. Sharing screen. Can you see my screen?
We can now, yes.
And your
Awesome.
hand.
All right. And my hand.
Oh, good. Your hand's up. Good.
So my tip has to do with the these third-party software update catalogs. All the major vendors now, Dell, HP, and Lenovo, all have a V3 catalog now. What that allows you to do when you set up these catalogs in your environment, it allows you to, I should have done this first, but oh well. It allows you to actually select which categories you want. That's very important. And please, please, please select the bare minimum number of categories that you can. Because every category that you bring in through this, it used to be every single one of them, will scan against every one of your client computers. So when they do the WSUS scan, they're going to scan every single update for every one of the models you select. So really try to limit it, because if not, it bloats WSUS. And I'll show you real quick why that's important here, because this is how one of these updates determines if they're applicable. So it literally runs these, I don't know, 25 WMI queries to determine if it's actually applicable for your device. And it'll run that times 2,000 if you select all of them. So use the V3 catalogs. If you're using V2, go back in here, resubscribe to the catalog, and choose only the models you need, and then clean up WSUS. And that's my tip.
That's a good one.
That's a hot tip.
It's cool. All right. Last but not least, John, are you ready?
John Nordine is ready.
All right.
All right. I promised Brian this would be like 15 seconds or less. This is a Windows 10 tip. If you bring up a browser, this works for Edge, IE11, Brave, Opera. You can hit Control-Shift-Delete to go straight to your clear browsing data window. So that's a browser shortcut tip for clearing your internet history. And the other tip that first of all, you guys can see my screen, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
And then the other tip that I'm embarrassed that it took me until Windows 10 to learn is if you need to change a password, you can do this to change your password. But what I didn't know is you can actually click in this field and type your domain and different user ID to change your password. And it took me too long to learn that one, but that's my second
handy
tip.
one. Yep.
What do you mean, to change somebody else's password?
No, to change your own pass. Like if you have an admin account, I used to always go, oh, I've got to go to a virtual to log into my admin account. And like this year, someone said, dude, why don't you just do this? And I was like, you can do that? So yes, I did not know that. But anyway. All right. Thanks, guys.
It's awesome.
Thank you.
Hey, John, I've lost you on Twitter. What's your handle?
JCN000.
Maybe that's why. JCN0. Thanks. I couldn't find
Sorry.
it. Okay.
Yeah, I had to go a little incognito there. Thanks.
All right. So Brian, I think we'll call that. I think we're at time unless you want to squeeze in any more.
Nope, that's good.
All right, good. Okay.